my buddies, welcome to a video with Kim Tech. My name is Kim. Today I'll be unboxing and setting up the Ubiquiti system, which includes the Ubiquiti Unified Dream Router 7, which is also known as UDR7, as the main network controller, pretty much the router in the setup, and the UniFi Express 7, also known as UX7, as the satellite unit or node. If you're eager to get them up and running, you can jump straight to the setup section with the timestamps in the description below. If not, let's get on with the unboxing. Let's start the main setup by first disconnecting your old router. Unplug the power of the modem as well to clear caching of the old network. Connect the modem to the 10 gig SFP Plus WAN port on the backside of the UDR7, which will be the main router in the setup. Plug the power back to both the modem and router. As you are waiting for the modem and router to boot up, download the UniFi app. When the UDR7 is ready, it will say ready for setup. Open the UniFi app. It will ask if you want to allow the UniFi app to find devices on local networks. Tap allow. Next, tap allow to allow the UniFi app to find Bluetooth devices. Initially, I tapped don't allow, which caused the app to not be able to find the router. I had to manually enable Bluetooth under settings, which allowed for it to see the router afterward. Anyway, once you see Dream Router 7, tap to setup. It will start connecting. Within seconds, we are ready to name our UDR7 Wi-Fi network. Since I only have one UDR7, I left the name default as Dream Router 7. If you have more than one UDR7, you may want to name it by location so it's easier for you to distinguish which one is where. Then put in the SSID, which is the network name, and password for your network. Since this is your main Wi-Fi network, I would recommend making the password a bit more complex. You can always make a similar password for a guest Wi-Fi. Anyway, for the main Wi-Fi network, use at least 8 characters with alphanumerical. 10 would be better. Tap next after you've finished with setting up the SSID and password. Then create a UI account. If you purchase your UniFi devices from the UI website, then this UI account uses the same sign-in. However, you don't need this account for the setup to work, so you can skip by selecting Proceed without UI account. After that, set up the local management credentials by creating the password to access your console. Follow the criteria and tap Set up Local Access. Let it run through the setup of your UniFi. You can tap Allow or Don't Allow to send notification. After that, mine went straight to updating firmware. Then on the UniFi OS Direct Connect, tap Proceed. Next, let's set up the node, in other words, a satellite unit. I'll be using the UniFi Express 7 for this setup. Power the unit up and wait for it to say ready for adoption. You can set this up with the UniFi app, but If you want to use the web portal to set it up, then use the provided IP. I'm using the Wi-Fi app for the setup. I encountered 2 ways of setting this up on the app, and I'll share both. The first way is to select Unify Devices and select on Pending option or Adopt at the top where it says one device is ready to adopt. Select Adopt Device and it will start the adoption process. Once it's done, it may prompt you to update. After the update, then you're done. For the second way, the device shows up on the dashboard screen with New Device Found. Tap Setup, tap Add to Existing System. It will start the adoption process. You can tap Go to Dashboard on the screen because the device will still continue its adoption in the background, or you can wait. It took about 2 minutes and 35 seconds on this step for me. Once it's done, it may prompt you to update. After the update, you're done. Moving on to setting up an additional Wi-Fi for guests or kids, which can be done from either the Unify app or on the web portal. There are 2 approaches that you can take when setting up your non-primary or guest network. First is to set a brand new network separate from the existing one and create a Wi-Fi under this secondary network. This allows you to enable guest network or isolate network, which segregates the secondary network from the primary because it's on a different VLAN. It's noteworthy to mention that the difference between guest network and isolate network is that the guest network feature can come with the guest portal, which is the captive portal, while the isolate network feature does not. The second approach, you can set it up as another Wi-Fi while being under the same network as your primary one, just with a different SSID or Wi-Fi name. Although the approach of creating another Wi-Fi under the same network is sufficient for most home use and is secure for the most part with client device isolation enabled, which has its own setback as it may inhibit the functionality of AirPlay, Chromecast, and Sonos devices, screen mirroring, and wireless printers. I would still recommend the first approach because it's easier to manage the devices from a network level with rules later on, such as blocking certain apps or app groups for your kids with a kids network, guests for your Airbnb, or even customers at a small shop. Anyway, let's start with setting up a new network, separate from your primary one. If you want to simply create another Wi-Fi and not another network, skip to the steps of creating another Wi-Fi. On the Unify app, tap the gear icon to go to Settings, Network, Add New. On the web portal, go to Settings, Network, Create New. Type in the new name of this network. I'm typing guests here, but you can put in kids or kids network depending on your needs. I left everything else default. If you want to make changes to the bottom configs, change auto to manual, and you can enable or disable the settings that you think is best for your new network. After the new network has been created, go through the steps of creating a Wi-Fi. To set up another Wi-Fi, not another network, on the Unify app, under Dashboard, tap New Wi-Fi. If you don't see the option, tap on Show More. On the web portal, go to Settings, Wi-Fi, Create New. Under Name, type in the network name or SSID. Determine what you want to use this Wi-Fi for. There are 3 profiles, Standard, Hotspot, and IoT. If you have IoT devices, then consider setting it up under this profile, especially if it's for a home network to keep it simple. If you want to make any changes to the settings for the profile, select Manual. If not, leave it on auto. For instance, you can select which Wi-Fi band to use or all of them. There's MAC filtering to block out any unwanted device or set restrictions for only certain devices. And in case you want to share your Wi-Fi with the whole neighborhood, set security protocol to open. You won't need to set a password and it's free for all. However, if anyone is using my Wi-Fi for free, I'll need some contribution. No free Wi-Fi in this home. Even though this may be a guest Wi-Fi or kids Wi-Fi, but follow best practices for your password. Please don't use something so generic such as password 123. even if you're using capital P. Anyway, select the network you want this Wi-Fi to be on if you have more than one network. If not, use the default network that you originally set up. Some advanced settings to consider for your home are client device isolation and Wi-Fi blackout schedule. I mentioned client device isolation a bit earlier, but what it is a security measure preventing wireless clients on the same AP from communicating with each other. And Wi-Fi blackout schedule allows you to specify a time when Wi-Fi should be disabled. For example, if you're setting up a kid's Wi-Fi, then you may want to set a curfew time. Anyway, when you're done with your additional Wi-Fi setup, select or tap Create. It will then apply the settings. Finally, I want to share some noteworthy configs that stood out to me. If there are other configs that I come across during my testing that I think are noteworthy of your time, I'll share them in a follow-up video. So, on the first night of using the UDR7, a blue ring was glowing on the ceiling, which I wanted to turn off. Then, the following morning, I noticed it was off, along with the LCM screen. And they were back on when I came home from work. It took me a bit to find where the setting was, which I think the placement is not very intuitive based on the naming, but that's just my opinion. Anyway, I found that the blue LED ring and LCM screen on the UDR7 come with an automatic night mode, where they turn off at a certain time of day, which can be adjusted. Or if you want to turn one of them off or both off, it can be done under Settings, Control Plane, and Console. Another config to consider is enabling smart queues to prioritize traffic and reduce delay when the router's bandwidth becomes overloaded. I read from Lazy Admin that this is especially helpful to enable if your internet connection speed is lower than 300 Mbps. This will prevent buffer bloat, which happens when your router pushes more data on an internet line than your connection can handle. However, with that said, Ubiquiti does not recommend enabling smart queues for ISP connections that provide 300 Mbps or higher speeds. Since my home internet plan is 600 Mbps and we normally get at least 350 Mbps, so enabling this would not be beneficial for us. The next config I want to share is that we can block countries for both incoming and outgoing traffic. With region blocking, you can add an extra layer of security by controlling where your network traffic comes from and goes to, which is under Settings, Cyber Secure, and Protection. It lets you block specific countries from accessing your network, so incoming traffic, and also prevents your devices from connecting to those regions, outgoing traffic. This can be especially useful if you know you will never need to interact with certain locations, helping reduce potential threats. Last but not least, if you have kids at home, turning on content filtering is a simple but effective way to help keep them safe online. Some features are free, such as AdBlock, Safe Search, basic filtering with an allow and block list, and scheduling. I'm listing what they are here on the screens, so you can pause the video to take a read. And the link to this info is also in the description box. It's not perfect, but it adds an extra layer of protection and peace of mind while they browse. This config can be found under Settings, Cyber Secure, Content Filter. However, the enhanced filtering requires activating the paid version of Cyber Secure, which is $99 annually for the Dream router. The enhanced filtering feature is said to be an advanced filtering solution powered by Cloudflare, offering 100 plus category-based filters managed by their industry-leading security team. Ideal for professional and enterprise environments requiring strict policy enforcement for compliance-driven controls. Finally, it's noteworthy to mention that if you want to remotely access your new UniFi system, you need to enable remote access under Settings, Control Plane, Console, and remote access is disabled by default. Now that we're done with the setup, I'm going to spend some time testing with this UniFi mesh setup, so stay tuned to hear what I have to say about them in a future video. Also, it's worth noting that this setup was done with an iPhone, but if you have an Android device, the process should still be very similar. Thank you for staying to the end of this video. I hope you found it helpful. If you do, please click the thumbs up and subscribe. If you have any questions, please feel free to put it down below. Thank you again for watching and have a nice day or night wherever you are, my buddies. Until next time, bye!